call this meeting of town board together. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. First order of business is salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's nice to see everybody here tonight. It's nice to have the sun shining outside. So we'll start right in. A motion to approve the minutes of the April 13th meeting. Somebody want to make a motion by Brian? Second by John. Any discussion? Corrections? All those in favor? Aye. Those carried. Town clerk's report.
Monthly report for April 2022. Commercial fireworks, $25. Clerk fees of $11.50. Certified copies of $70. Landfill fees and punch cards, $15,306. Dog licensing, $185. Building permits, $250. Septic permits, $50. Bringing the total local shares remitted of $15,897.50.
Okay. Supervisor's report for the month of April. We have $3,665,728.41 on hand. Okay, we go to assessor.
Assessors for May. The 2022 tentative roll has been completed and has been delivered to the town clerk. A link to the tentative rolls may be found online on the town's website homepage. Pursuant to section 526 of the real property tax law, your assessor will be in attendance in the tentative roll on May 5th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., May 11th, 4 to 8 p.m., May 12th, noon to 4 p.m., and May 14th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. As mandated by the state of New York, said hours are of availability have been posted on the town hall bulletin board outside the town clerk's office, published in the Post-Star newspaper on May 1st. This notice has been posted on the assessor's bulletin board in the hallway. Grievance day will be held on Tuesday, the 24th, between the hours of 4 and 8 p.m. in the hearing room of the Warrensburg Town Hall. Anyone wishing to grieve their assessment can find the appropriate paperwork online at the New York State website, www.tax.ny.ca.
Okay, justice.
Justice report for May. Judge Fisk heard 58 cases, collected fines of $4,765, fees of $234, and surcharges of $2,235. Judge Ferrello heard 57 cases, collected fines of $3,332. There were no fees charged, and surcharges were $1,058. Total cases, new cases in February were 97. Total dollars received in March, $11,624. Town share for January, $10,576. The town share for February, $11,089.
Okay, dog control officer had 8 calls for the month. He was pretty busy. We've had a few dog bites lately. And most of them are owner dog bites. But any complaints on dogs, we give to Brett and he gets right out there. So if you have any dogs, and it looks like the nice weather, people are letting them out more. But he does a great job and we appreciate it. Planning and zoning.
Planning, there were 2 septic and 11 land use development permits issued the month of April. The planning board nor the zoning board will have meetings this month due to lack of applications. And Sun Canyon Kitchen opens this month at 3685 Main Street pending final inspections.
Okay, enforcement.
Received a complaint for garbage blowing on adjacent property from 114 Skylark Avenue. Property owner was cited for violation and sent to coroner. Sent a notice to the owner of 25 Karen Street for site plan review regarding the establishment of apartments. Received a copy of the stop work order for 7 Oak Street from Warren County Building Code. No permit is in place. Issued a commercial fireworks display for the lodge at Echo Lake for May 7th. Replied to Chester County Code Enforcement regarding how town codes are enforced. Received and filed new APA restrictions and guidance as of April 2022. Site visited 86 Library Avenue to verify the conditions are corrected. left a warning notice on a vehicle parked on a sidewalk at 3913 Main Street. Reviewed the request from the APA regarding parcel 2241-1-7 for updating all existing cell tower on the property. APA was looking for more information from the owners. Received a complaint regarding Raleigh Road number 147. They were warned for property maintenance violations running a junkyard. The property had numerous unregistered vehicles on it. The representative of the owner visited the office and asked for an extension to remove the vehicles and showed photos of the property being cleaned up. The extension was granted. The property will be monitored. Received an investigative complaint of water being diverted onto the property at parcel 210-8-1-1. Also, they complained about putting water into the state stormwater collection system. They were advised that they should contact an attorney regarding the water diversion and to speak with the resident engineer at DOT regarding stormwater agreements with private parties if in fact one existed. Received and reviewed a letter from the APA regarding the subdivision of Kelm Lake property 184-1-1. The APA is requiring a permit from the owners and for the owner's action. Copy was forwarded to the town assessor for his future review regarding the addition of additional house on the site. Met with the owner of 7 Oak Street to explain how the fence should be installed as per town code. He will comply with the code in correct condition. Received a complaint for old appliances at 455 Route 418. Sent a warning notice to the property for maintenance, property maintenance to the owner of record. Received a notice from the APA regarding the amendment of an application at 825 Spoon River Road. Sent a copy of Sam Hall for our zoning, or for a short-term rental as requested. Discussed 2 building projects underway with Warren County building codes. Drafted a reply to the APA refusal to expand the hamlet. Read through the map, reducing the size of the requested expansion, provided Supervisor Garrity with the same. Called New York State Department of Health regarding a complaint at Evergreen Mobile Home Park. The complaint was in regard to a private sewer system on the property, which is under Department of Health control. They will investigate the claim. Discussed with the town contractor to secure through 3885 Main Street. The building is not secure. Persons are going in and out. There's a risk of injury to parties as the interior is in shambles. There's also a risk of fire within the building created by entering and exiting the structure. The work will commence on or about May 2nd to secure the building. The building will be posted, boarded, and locked. Code enforcement will hold the keys. Owner will send a notice and it's failed to act.
Okay, thank you. Beautification.
Teresa Whalen, beautification. We are busily planning projects, fundraisers, and events for the coming year. We partnered with Adirondack Architectural Heritage and the Warrensburg Historical Society to present a New York State Historic Homeownership Rehabilitation Tax Credit Workshop on April 28th via a hybrid Zoom where people could either view at Richards Library or from their own devices. Over 50 participated, and our reach was across the state with requests from Rochester to Shelter Island to join the presentation. A resident and Historical Society board member, Manu Davidson, who has been living in and working on her house on One Ridge Avenue, was a panelist and shared her experience using the program for several years and taking advantage of the tax credits available to reduce her state tax liabilities. We now have both the PowerPoint presentation and a link to a recorded presentation to share with other historic homeowners or anyone interested in buying a property that is on the National Register of Historic Places or is eligible as determined by the State Office of Historic Preservation. Our town is ahead of the game with more properties listed on the register than any other community in the Adirondack Park. Our annual meeting, potluck dinner, and presentation on May 5th at the Glen Lodge was well attended. The potluck had a Cinco de Mayo theme and everyone enjoyed a variety of Mexican foods. Carolyn Harp, a CCE of Warren County Master Gardener and president of the Adirondack Mountain Garden Club, gave a presentation on gardening for butterflies, which featured not only a variety of butterflies, but also the pollinator-friendly plants that attract them. The statewide I Love My Park Day kicked off the official spring cleanup of planting beds and picking up trash on Saturday, May 7th from 9 a.m. to noon at the Farmers Market Park. A nice group of gardeners cleaned up the beds, pruned shrubs, cut back invasive weeds, picked up garbage thrown down by the water's edge. An Arbor Day program by Warren County Soil and Water District and tree dedication to Charles Chip Webster will be held on Saturday, May 21st at 10 a.m. at the wastewater treatment plant on Route 418. Our annual Green Thumb Perennial Swap on Saturday, May 28th from 9 a.m. to noon will bring gardeners from near and far to share stories, plants, and have their soil tested. New gardeners are welcome to adopt plants. The 24th season of the Warrensburg Riverfront Farmers Market will begin on Friday, June 3rd with our Rhubarb Festival and end on October 7th with our Garlic Festival. 5 festivals in total, including rhubarb, blueberry, a gathering of artisans, apple, and garlic. A garden tool sharpening clinic conducted by CCE of Warren County Master Gardener and Community Garden Plot Coordinator Tom O'Day will be offered on Saturday, June 4th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Community Garden in Paper Mill Park on Route 418. Please contact Tom to adopt a plot. The Warrensburg Community Garden is offering the opportunity to grow in raised beds with amended soil, sunlight, water, protection from deer and other nuisance wildlife, a 3-bin composting system, and fellowship. Our summer garden tour and presentation on Saturday, July 9th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. will feature both town and country gardens. Presentation topic: container gardening by nationally recognized garden writer, speaker, radio and television personality Charlie Nardozzi will be held at the Fish Hatchery Pavilion at 3 p.m. Many thanks to Edward Jones Investments, John Gable, financial advisor, for sponsoring the presentation. Our annual local harvest day on Columbus Day will feature local farms and processors. And the 34th Christmas in Warrensburg celebration will be held the weekend of December 34th.
Thank you. Highway.
Highway, the month of April has been very busy, getting our spring sweeping done throughout the town. We had a 3-inch rainstorm on April 7th, which washed out road culverts on Alden Avenue and Swan Street. We've replaced the one on Swan Street and have a grant from Warren County Soil and Water for a new large culvert on Alden Avenue. After the repairs from the rain, we continued sweeping throughout the town. On April 19th, we had a 7-inch wet, heavy snowstorm, which brought down numerous trees and limbs throughout the whole town. Anybody remember that one? And several days cleaning and chipping up trees and brush, wore out our chipper doing it. Just a reminder, we'll be doing leaf pickup and brush pickup May 16th to the 19th, the 23rd, and the 26th. We will not pick up after these dates.
Okay, EDC.
The WEDC met on May 2nd. The next meeting is scheduled for June 6th. We meet at 10 a.m. if anybody'd like to attend. We continue to work gathering pertinent information that will facilitate the CDBG grant application that we hope to submit later this year. The committee has formed several subcommittees in order that we get more behind-the-scenes work accomplished. Each small group has taken on homework assignments that will allow us to be more proficient at our regular meetings. Research into RFQs shows that they are not all that complicated and can be written for the purpose of ascertaining developer, contractor interest in participating in the Envision project for the surplus old town garage property. The WEDC asked the town board publicize the RFQ per our hopes for the property in an effort to move this potential project into the next phase of consideration. The board at this juncture can outline our hopes and expectations of what we envision for a completed senior housing project, which the property is already zoned for. The zoning is for up to 50 units of senior housing. It may be prudent to have the 2018 appraisal updated in preparation for the anticipated sale to the chosen developer. Our top priorities this month are housing grants, communications, and senior housing. We look forward to Warrensburg's continued growth. Respectfully, Rich Larkin.
Museum.
So in April, we had 2 visitors. Dean was putting away some museum effects and ran into some students at the back of the museum and took them on in and gave them a nice tour. On May 3rd, I attended the Historical Society meeting, and we've appointed a new member, Myra Boplis. She's a Thurman historian. I want to make sure people know that on May 15th, which is this coming Sunday from 12 to 4, is our new volunteer event. We will have a training so folks can understand what they're going to do during when the hours are open. And then on June 16th, I have an event with the fourth graders from Warrensburg Elementary. They're going to come over and see the museum. And then on September 23rd, the Friday of the Balloon Festival weekend, we have Jim Allen's Famous Barbecue, and we're going to co-host that with the VFW. August 28th, we have our first annual golf sticky wicket event at Cronin's Golf Course. And under social media, we now have our Historical Society up on Instagram, and new reach is 33 folks. So, thank you.
Historian, I'll read that, or you want to? I'll read it. Historian report. I asked for information on Bill's Diner. We had somebody looking to try to see what the facade of the building looked before the sign was taken down. We found just a little bit, a couple pictures. We gave it to the contractor working up there. Attended the Warrensburg Historical Society meeting, town board meeting. Historian projects, notebooks created to allow for more room in file cabinets. Emerson family notebook completed. Regina Porter notebook completed. Obituaries have filed and recorded. I've been recording senior graduates in ancestry program. The following have been completed: 1930, 38, 57, 58, 59. I continue to work to file information on COVID and the filing of daily events along with Thurman items that still need filing. Museum projects. I continue to work one day a month at the museum until it gets warmer so that we do not have the heat on at the museum that much. My normal work day is Thursday, so I've been using that day at the historian's office, which has helped me catch up on most of the Thurman collection and to work on the above mentioned notebooks. Des, Catherine Webster, Giles Jennings, Dorothy Smith, Joseph Augustine, Betty Hall Peck, Peter Kerrigan, Chris Detmer, Dennis Coker. And recently published February, Cynthia Southwick in March, and Rose Stewart Collini. Office hours 22. And that was from Sandy.
Just a note that.
Yeah.
Under death, she might have missed it this time, or she was gun shy, but Dennis
You
Martinez,
did
our
bad.
Yeah.
bank manager, passed.
Yeah, we should write that.
You're a good man.
Yeah. And,
Yes. Okay, we are on to parks.
Parks and Rec for May. The parks were fertilized and seeded, and spring cleanup is nearly complete. Irrigation systems are being prepped for summer. Split rail fence at the farmer's market was repaired. The cement pad was poured at the rec barn for better access to the bathrooms. Respectfully, Tracy Benoit.
Okay. Sure.
Sewer for May. Pump Station C had to be back flushed several times this month. Pump Station A had to be realigned after a pulley became loose. We were called to Countryside Nursing Home. Pump station found the float switch had come undone. Sand filter airlift had to be changed out. We had our annual DEC plant inspection. Things went very well. The UV system was installed this season. That would Curtis Lumber over the clogged sewer line to help them find their problem. That's annoying.
Water.
Water for May. We reinstalled meters and turned water on 10 customers' homes. 2 frost plates were repaired and checked. Water pressure at one residence. On April 25th, we replaced a galvanized water line that was leaking with a copper line, the main to the curb stop on Hudson Street. Hydrants were flushed for the spring season. One chemical feed pump was replaced and the chlorine feed line had been repaired due to the leak. That was Cedarwood Engineering, Phil Baker, over the water transmission line running through his property versus running through the woods.
Okay. Communications. Received a statement of findings from the Adirondack Park Agency on their denial of our application to make changes to the hamlet. Received a notice from Revolution Rail that they will be starting to run the rail bikes on a portion of the county rail line from Thurman Station over to 1,000 acres. Anybody who hasn't been on those rail bikes, it's a good exercise, and that would make a nice run from Thurman Station up over the hill down to 1,000 acres. They also do it up in North River on the rail line going up towards to Hawes. And they also do it in Hadley, which will take you over to the trestle, which is kind of scary, but we did that and down to this side of Antone Mountain. So they're on the tracks in 3 different areas. Received notice from the state of New York is offering a new round of consolidated funding applications. Applications are due in on July 29th, 2022. Let's see, received a notice from Chamber of Commerce sponsoring the golf tournament, and I'll look up next what we gave last year towards the tournament, if that's okay with somebody. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make that.
Motion by Brian,
I'll second.
second by Rich to make a donation to the Warrensburg Chamber of Commerce golf tournament. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, I'll check on that. It's not until, it's June 5th, right?
Yep.
Yeah, June 5th. So we got a couple days. On unfinished business, I'd like to point the following people to the committee, steering committee on comprehensive plan. John Alexander, Gary Cooper, Laura Moore, Joyce Reed, Sharon Supple, and Teresa Whalen. They will be joined by the planning department and code enforcement. And they'll work with Labella, and they'll get the project off the ground, and then there'll be plenty of time for other people to come in. So a motion or to allow me to do that?
Absolutely.
A second by Brian. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will, I will get this information to Labella so we can get going shortly. Because I know he wants to get moving on that. Thank you all those who volunteered. I need a resolution request to allow me to attend the AATV meeting in Lake Placid on June 5th and 6th and pay for the room.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second
Motion,
it.
second by Rich. And approximate cost will be around, shouldn't be over $200. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. It's a good meeting. AATV is made up of 114 towns and villages that all exist within the APA. We always, we've hosted some meetings here recently, and you get a lot done for the park, and you'll find out later on we have something to discuss. The town was fortunate to receive $745,050 in a WIA grant, which is a water improvement grant. And this money will go towards the transmission line and valve replacement on that line that we've been talking about. The initial cost of the line was going to be over 1.2 million. But the 745,000 plus what we use from the ARPA funding will pay fully for this line replacement. That being said, we opened bids today on the water line, and we were very pleased to get 2 bids in, one from Cutting Edge in the amount of $994,800, and the second one was for Borderline Excavating in the amount of $658,950. And each of them had a alternate bid, and what I've been told we read the specification, the alternate bid put in there is in case they ran into any problems and I had to put any air valves in the line. Our engineers don't feel that we'll need the alternate bid. So what I would like tonight is a resolution request to accept the lowest responsible bidder after reviewed by the town engineers. So,
I'll make that bid, Kevin.
huh?
I'll make that
Rich,
Second.
motion.
second?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's do a voice vote.
Supervisor Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Alexander?
Yes.
Councilman Reynolds?
Yes.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, we're very fortunate there, so we can move ahead. That was one of the projects we had in the hopper to get done. Next is a resolution request to establish capital project 820, H20 for the water transmission line. Somebody want to make that a motion?
I'll make that motion, Kevin.
Rich,
Second.
John,
Sure.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. Resolution request to allow the town supervisor to send a letter to Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District to participate in the Warren County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazardous Mitigation Plan. I need to send this letter out by June 1st. And what the hazardous mitigation plan does for us, basically, we look for any potential hazards we may have in the town. We update it every so often. Now it's our turn to get it done. I work with Eddie, I work with Tracy, and who else, Jim? You do a lot of that too, don't we? Hazard mitigation?
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah, so but I just need permission to get our letter into these, or soil and water.
So moved, Kevin.
Motion by John,
Second.
second by Rich. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. I did send out a memorandum of understanding to Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District for activities related to culvert replacement and erosion control in Alden Avenue. This was a project that we wanted to get going, so I signed a consent order a little bit early. It's a highway project to replace the culvert on Alden Avenue, and it's done, most of this is done through a grant, correct? Yes. Yes, paid for through a grant. And then we also have a culvert we're gonna do up Wilderness Way. And is that the only two we're doing?
Yes.
Culverts. And most of those are paid by grants. So I just want to keep the board informed that I did sign this. Resolution request to accept the letter of intent from Flatley Reed for administration and project management consulting services to pursue housing grant opportunities. Grant preparation will be billed at a rate of $85 an hour. And this is kind of their specialty. They're from, I believe, down the Skyville way, and they sent us a nice proposal, and they work on these housing grants. They do everything from gathering the information. So motion,
I'll make that motion.
by Rich, second by Brian. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. All right, next. We have a resolution scheduling a public hearing concerning the proposed replacement of lighting district streetlights. Because it is a district, we need to get input from the residents on the improvements we want to make to the streetlights. And there's a bunch of whereases, and now I'm going to read, now therefore it is hereby resolved as follows. The proposed improvements will include, but not will be limited to, the replacement of 495 streetlights with light emitting diodes, LEDs, that the town will take ownership of, and a 2-year service package. Estimated cost of the project is $587,218.91. Cost of the improvements will be paid for by obligations to be issued by the town of Warrensburg on behalf of the district. The town board shall meet and hold a public hearing at the Warrensburg Town Hall, 3797 Main Street, 7 p.m. on June 8th, 2022, to hear all persons interested in the improvement of the district facilities described above, and to take such other further action as may be required and authorized by law. The town board hereby authorizes and directs the town clerk to duly publish the notice of public hearing not less than 10 days nor more than 20 days before the public hearing date as required by town law. And I'll ask for that we approve this resolution. So we need to do a voice vote. I'll go first. Yes. For the public hearing.
Yes.
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 Okay. This will be the public hearing. This will be the time to come and state your pros and cons to the proposal. Okay. Next, I have a resolution request in opposition of passing the Conservation Subdivision Design Bill. Senate Bill 1145, Assembly Bill 4074. And this bill was drawn up by the Senate, and the senator is from Long Island. And they want to further restrict the development of properties within the APA. So I will read you a resolution. I'd like to read you the resolution if you'll indulge me. The resolution passed by Essex County. I have numerous resolutions, one passed by Essex County Board of Supervisors, but it lays out what the state of New York is trying to do with this resolution. So I'll do the best I can. Whereas the Adirondack Park Agency adopted a large subdivision permit application that incorporated many of the action items in the Conservation Subdivision Design Bill, whereas implementation of the APA large subdivision permit is possibly more protective of the environment than the Conservation subdivision design allows for, whereas the conservation design laws are seldom mandatory and are a tool to keep open space in urban areas, whereas the state of New York, as of March 20th, 2018, owned 2,505,802 acres, or 44.6% of the Adirondack Park in fee. The state of New York, as of November 12, 2018, owns 785,434 acres of conservation easements where development and subdivision rights have been extinguished. Whereas this means there are more than 3.3 million acres of a 5.9 million acre Adirondack Park that will never be developed or subdivided. Whereas the remaining 2.6 million acres of private land, existing development, roads, lakes, rivers, streams, steep slopes, wetlands, and high elevations are not suitable for development. Whereas the proposed legislation would amend the existing Adirondack Park Agency Act, which has been in effect for 50 years. Whereas before major Adirondack Park Agency permit application processes are changed, the public hearing process needs to be implemented so that property owners have an opportunity to understand and comment on how this proposed law will affect their property values. Whereas the change would require private property owners to incur undue burden to hire external consultants to complete additional ecological assessments that will add significant time to the process to proceed with proposed developments, whereas the proposed law will effectively eliminate the potential for development on certain land use classifications, which are already protected, regulated by the Adirondack Park Agency. Whereas the proposed bill places additional burden on property owners that is not necessary to protect the environment and ecological system and is not beneficial to the well-being of the Adirondack Park and its residents. Now, therefore, be resolved, the Essex County Board of Supervisors does not approve of the proposed bills. Be it further resolved that the Essex County Board of Supervisors does hereby call upon local governments to stand together individually and through our association to insist that the Conservation Subdivision Design Bill be withdrawn. And be it further resolved, the copy of this resolution will be forwarded to Governor Kathy Hochul, Senate Majority Leader Stuart Cousins, Assembly Speaker Hasty, all the Adirondack Legislature, Adirondack Intercounty, Adirondack Association Towns and Villages. Now, this has been talked about for over a year by the legislature, and we've had numerous conversations about it in my attending basically the AAT meetings. Last year, the bill never got put forward, and this year it is being put forward. APA Local Government Board, which I'm also a member of, they oppose it. AATV is going to file suit with a similar resolution, and I'd like to see the town of Warrensburg file suit. It's unneeded, and I really feel that we really get shortchanged up here, and now we're going to have a state legislature. Many of them are not from around here. They're going to put more undue burden on people in the park. So I'll ask for a motion to approve this.
Absolutely, I oppose that.
Brian,
Yes.
second by Brian. Rich, any comments?
I fully support not having the APA do any more.
Yes, it's not the APA. This is the state legislature. Actually, the APA
We're giving the APA.
is actually, this is one of these rare moments where the associations that are happy with the APA Act, but do not want the state legislature to make it more burdensome. So all those in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll send our copy out also. I had to bring that up. And I know Maynard would be happy.
Yeah.
But this is one time where I 100% agree with it. I have two resolutions requests, which I have to recuse myself on. The first one is resolution request to allow the Warrensburg Fire Company to use the recreation field from July 25th to 31st for the Smoke Eaters Jamboree.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by John, second by Rich. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I'm recusing myself. The second one is a resolution request to allocate $500 from account A7550 celebrations to help sponsor the Warrensburg Volunteer Fire Company fireworks display at the Smoke Eaters Jamboree. Somebody want to make that?
So moved.
Motion by Rich,
Second it.
second by Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I recuse myself from that one. Okay, we received a letter from Warrensburg Emergency Services about steps needed to establish an EMS taxing district. I would like to permission for the board to go ahead and work with the town attorney and Corey Olette of EMS, who is here tonight, to start gathering information and move this along as soon as we can. Corey came to see me yesterday. It's time that we do this. We have tried unsuccessfully for about 2.5 years to establish a countywide district. We can't do it because by law, a county can't establish an EMS district. But we can establish an EMS district, and I think I can help them get it in a way. We know the steps. Bob knows the steps. He's done this before. Obviously, whatever we get through the taxing district, we would take out of our budget as, the end kind we pay. But I would like to work with Corey. And as I told Corey yesterday, I could almost tell him how much the tax would be right now without even figuring it out in my head, but we'll wait. I want to do it right. The emergency squad needs our help. I know some of our neighbors, well, like George already did this. We probably wouldn't go to their extent. They put people on the town payroll. Corey thinks he can manage it, but in the future, there may be opportunity for us to join in surrounding towns. The towns can work together and form a bigger EMS district if we see a need to. Right now, believe it or not, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I never would agree to this. But I see the struggle. I see the need. I see the amount of effort that we do here in Warrensburg. We do a lot of runs. And I will do everything in my power to help them get this off the ground as soon as possible. I'd like to get it on the November ballot if we can, but I'm not sure we'll have time. We're going to try. But,
It doesn't require a ballot.
oh, we don't have to vote?
Like George, I've done this,
Okay,
between several and many times.
Sure.
And Lake George is the only one that's they've put together a petition asking for it, and it was a very large majority voted for it. It was almost three quarters, which for a taxing thing is unusual. But we've process involves having a map and a report, having a public, just like water district, these type things, except you don't need an engineer to do it, so we can work with you. We'll
Right.
really want to have the assessor involved because we need information that the assessor needs.
Right.
We put together a map plan report, we file it with the town clerk, we do an order setting a public hearing that is very detailed, and it has to outline, this is what it's gonna cost typical property.
Yeah.
This is what we estimate it's gonna cost per year and what we're gonna do. Then you hold the public hearing and then you establish a district. You give people 30 days to file a petition, which Lake George is the only one in my history that has done it for this type of a district.
Right.
And then after the 30 days, you do a final order that exists. You can have it formed by September, October.
It's one of these things where we need to protect our residents. They're going out, they're on call. We're lucky, I think you have 15 employees now.
Yeah, 15 employees and 29 volunteers.
So they still are using volunteers over here. That will probably, I don't know if they'll ever diminish. We're fortunate, but this is the right thing to do. And I'm for doing the right thing. And I think, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I think I can work with Corey and we can get a reasonable tax base and a reasonable tax rate and make this work. It won't be one of these things where we're going to put it in this year and they'll come back next year and want an increase. We're going to make it so they can sustain their operation for a few years to come. So I just want permission from the board to do this. I think it's the right thing to do.
Yes, this time.
You all set? Yes?
I'm curious, it's not necessarily, will Thurman, you guys cover a lot of Thurman too, right? Will-
Yeah, so we do cover Thurman and we cover
So the tax district would just be for Warrensburg and then billing outside the district?
Well, our concern right now would be for Warrensburg. If he contracts with our neighbors, and that would be, we're not going to undertake a consolidated district unless Thurman approached us after we got ours. This is just for Warrensburg right now. We're just
Makes
gonna work on Warrensburg, and he can still contract with the areas he wants to contract, but this will basically, will follow the same boundary lines as the fire district in the town.
Thank you.
The fire district,
It's the townwide district.
townwide district, yeah. And the fire district is townwide, so I think a lot of it's already there. I don't think we're gonna have to do that much.
Saying the town boundaries makes it a lot easier.
So that wouldn't be the school district, correct?
No, no, negative. This is a separate town of Warrensburg district. So, and we will not go in blind. People will know exactly what they're gonna pay. We will go in with a rate, so if you bring us your assessment that night, we'll be able to tell you that this is gonna be X number of dollars more on your bill. But what it will do is, it will reduce the town budget by 70,000, because it'll be a separate line item. Well, it won't really reduce the town budget, but it'll be a separate line item.
You will not spend general fund tax money.
It won't be general fund.
You'll spend ambulance district taxes that are raised that can only be spent for that.
That's correct.
Then maybe let you keep the capital reserve fund for future expenses, but we'll use the ambulance purposes.
It certainly will have a public hearing just to get everybody's input. Okay? All right. There'll be no surprises, so we're gonna work together. I need a resolution request to reapply for the Hamlet expansion up Main Street. And as I read earlier in the board meeting, the APA rejected our proposal to expand our Hamlet up Main Street and also along River Street. So we called and had discussion with the agency and found out that we weren't happy with the way the staff presented our first case. So we're going to represent what we want to do is we want to get the following properties in: 210.8-1-3, which is 4036 Main Street, or NEMIX. 210.8-1-2, which is the Warrensburg Inn and Suites, and 210.8-1-1, which is the vacant lot owned by Gene Haddon. Those were really what we were trying to get them to put into the Hamlet last time. And it somehow, it got extended up around the corner towards the North Country Lodge. We didn't want it, but apparently there's rules and regulations of the APA. Somehow they said they had to do that. Now, we have given them a new map with only those 3 lots. And so we sent it up to them. It's gone to the staff. We'll wait to get back from the staff. And I think this time I'll go up in person when it's presented to the board. And then I'll try to find out more information about going down River Street. You know, about if we could change some of that classification in the future. So I figure I thought this was no brainer. It got 2 votes against it, but we'll see this time. So resolution, somebody want to make that?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Rich. Second by Brian to expand the Hamlet. Those 3 lots, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. All right, what we got next? And I had a request from Donnie Winslow. She's concerned about the pickleball and tennis courts, and we're going to talk to our the successful bidder last year. We didn't get the work done last year, but we're gonna try to get it done this year. Resolution request to pay the bills on warrant number 5.
So moved.
Motion by Rich.
Second.
Second by John to pay the bills on warrant number 5 in total amount of $109,183.10. And then I need a resolution request to apply for a new chipper. It'll be off state contract. The chipper in the highway department is on its last legs. Motion by Rich, second by Brian. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I can tell you the price of those chippers, I think, went up $30,000 in 12 months. Could have bought it for X number of hours last year, now it's $30,000 more. Comments from the committee? Anybody out in the audience would like to comment on anything tonight? Please.
Do you know any more about the summer rec and school program that they're gonna have?
Well, the summer rec program will start every day at 8 a.m. It will run to 2 p.m. at the school. It'd be a mixture of arts and crafts, athletics, and teaching. The kids will have some academic classes. I'm not really sure. Danny, do you have
So they have math, they have reading, and they have history.
math, reading, and history? And then at 2 o'clock every day, or Monday through Thursday, we will host swim lessons at Echo Lake from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And that again is partnering up with the school. And we have about 10 or 11 children who have applied. I hope that I'll probably hire them all to work as counselors. We still got to work out the logistics. I think we're the first ones around to partner up with the school to have arts and crafts, sports, and learning, summer learning. It was talked about, it was bannered about before the COVID, but now that we believe COVID is behind us the best we can hope, we're going to try this program. And, you know, it'll be a learning curve for us and for the school, but we're going to do everything in our ability to make it work. I think it's important for the kids of Warrensburg.
I do too. How are people gonna sign up for it, through the town or through the school?
It's going to be, I believe it's going to be both. So kids have the ability to do either or, so you're signing up for the school, or you're signing up for the arts and crafts at town, and then we're combining.
The summer rec program, they always come here but I would assume if it's the academic classes, we'll work with school. We'll work that out. We'll certainly get it out in the paper. We'll get it out. We'll get it on our website.
If you can't sign up already, people have been asking me at school.
They can come in and sign up. Sure, we'll take their application because there's a health assessment or
Yeah.
something they have to do. Sure, send them here. Yeah. It's one of those things. She may be on top of it. I'm not 100%. I mean, I've looked at the schedule, let's put it this way, but I've got to get it. I got to embrace it in my own mind. But I'm happy that you know, I'm happy that the kids are going to have a chance to learn and enjoy some outdoor activities. And then swimming is important.
It also includes breakfast, lunch, and snack.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, breakfast will be served every morning at the school and lunch will be served at the school. So that is good too. So, all right, anything else? Nothing?
I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
If you may not, I guess I don't have to stand. Gary Cooper, 37 Lake Avenue. A few months back, probably 4 or 5 months, the town was looking into Croning Pines
We did.
property on Lake Avenue. I'd like to know how far our town attorney, Mr. Hafner, has gotten with that or has received any information in regards to a public sale, if possible.
He can answer that. Remember that?
I thought our answer wasn't owned by the.
It's not owned by us. We don't.
I
So we
understand it's
can't
not
sell,
owned
we
by
can't
us.
sell other people's property.
Well, I understand, but it's tax-free, so I know the town attorney was supposed to do a lot of research on it.
He
In
did.
regards to this, in regards of who's paying the taxes and who's responsible if someone falls and breaks their leg, and who do they possibly?
It's not town
Those
property.
weren't town council questions.
No, we didn't ask
They
any.
weren't back then, but I'm asking.
I get questions from the town board.
Yeah.
I don't get questions from others.
Oh.
They're the ones who tell me what to do.
But Mr. Hafner, we do pay you. And this is the town people that pay your.
So what is your question, Gary?
My question is, what is the research on Croning Pines on Lake Avenue?
We don't own it.
And is it for sale?
We don't own it.
You don't, okay,
So we can't sell
okay.
it, right?
Thank you. My other question is who hires our town assessor for Warrensburg and how many hours is this individual working for the town taxpayers in Warrensburg throughout the week?
He works 2.5 days a week here and 2.5 days a week in Chestertown.
And who hires this? Is it
The town of Warrensburg hired him, and we share services with the town of Chester.
It isn't a hire, it's an appointment.
Well, it's appointment.
it's an appointment?
Yeah, it's appointment, and it's, his pay is proportioned by the number of parcels in each community. And they pay a portion of his fringe benefits also.
Correct. I had the great opportunity to talk to Greg today. And the assessments on properties are pretty much individualized, as I see it, in real estate. I put 2 sheds on my property and I'm assessed for it. I can yank them out tomorrow, but they will not be removed from the assessment. I just received an assessment, and you can bring this up to Greg, I spoke to him today. I just received an assessment for a pool that's being put in. I don't even have the pool, but for 2022, my pool is already being assessed on 87 Lake Avenue. It's in the sand. I don't have water. I don't have concrete. It's not even in. So he's already assessed me for this pool, which he's been appointed by our community. So it just tells me that, I've looked up everybody's property here, by the way, and I see what properties have went down in assessed value, and I see what property has went up in assessed value. And it seems to me that anybody that paints their house, that blacktops their driveway, and puts a nice shed in the yard, they are penalized. But at the same time, I'm going to go in another aspect of vacation rentals. Our vacation rentals have all the rules and regulations of who can park on lawns, where our trash cans can be appointed or not positioned. We have noise restrictions, but then yet, my vacation rental can look at a home that is completely disgusting, 3 cars unregistered, mattresses, toys in the yard, cars parked on lawns, and any home in Warrensburg. And believe me, I'm gonna give them credit because they're not being taxed for it. You beautify your home in Warrensburg, I am telling you right now, and I'm talking to the townspeople, we are penalized to beautify our home. Those that can sit there with their cars parked on the lawn, unregistered vehicles, and I'm not saying, Mr. Hall, you're not doing your job, because you're doing a great job.
Send that guy a letter.
I know, but I'm just saying that we're penalized for beautification. And those that don't, and I said this 10 years ago, there should be an upweight tax. What is the issue and why are we penalized? That's all I'm saying. And that's all I have to say tonight.
Well, as far as your personal assessment, you need to come to grievance.
Oh, I know, I already talked to Greg.
And that's the way to resolve that. As far as how Greg is assessing other properties, I don't interfere with assessing. I don't interfere with code enforcement, so, I can ask him the question about that. But grievance day is the day to come and talk about your other stuff. Anybody else tonight?
Sandy Parisi says she's sorry she was unable to make the meeting tonight.
That's okay, we got her. Thank you. Anybody on YouTube? Okay, the board needs to go into the executive session to discuss possible litigation. So I need a motion and then we will come out. So
Make that
motion by Rich, second by Brian, to go into executive session to discuss possible litigation. All right, and that is at 7:54.